Coming up on AVID Achievers, we are joined by Ana Hernandez, a recent graduate from Broadneck High School. Hello, and welcome to AVID Achievers. I am your host, Arita, coordinator of AVID. Today on AVID Achievers, we are joined by a recent Broadneck High School graduate, Ana Hernandez, and her teacher, Gail Davis. Thank you for joining us. So at the start of 2023 school year, next year, we will celebrate our 20th anniversary of being an AVID school district. So since 2023, we have had AVID programs in all comprehensive middle and high schools, and we also have 12 AVID elementary sites. Ms. Davis, how long have you been an AVID teacher?
I've been an AVID teacher at Broadneck High School for 9 years, and I also taught English, which is how I first met Ana. I was 9th grade English teacher and 9th grade AVID teacher, which was a great combination.
Awesome. And what do you enjoy most about being an AVID teacher?
I love the collaboration and organization that we're able to execute in an AVID classroom, that it's rigorous, but at the same time, a more relaxed atmosphere, which I feel allows for more relationship building, which is, to me, the most important part of education.
So your students become like a real tight-knit group as they move through AVID together?
Oh, absolutely. We call it our AVID family, and we are really working hard this year to do team building activities with 9th, 10th, 11th, and 12th, and that has been really exciting. We also have like a little garden that we are working on together, and it's fun to have the kids of all age groups in AVID come into my classroom throughout the day, and it's just been a really great year.
And that team building and relationship building became really important as we came back to the school from being home for almost 18 months.
Absolutely. And that's, as all educators are seeing, probably the biggest deficit that we experienced through AVID, through the COVID experience, was kids forget how to interact. So I love that AVID provides that platform for kids to, again, engage with one another and plan together and execute. So it's my favorite job that I've ever had, for sure.
That's great. Well, thank you for inviting Ana to join us today. Do you have a good story to share about Ana from when she was in high school?
Absolutely. I knew Ana was going to be a superstar from literally day one in 9th grade. She chose to sit right in front of me, in front of my desk, and I was like, this girl is locked in. She was fantastic from the beginning, but my favorite thing about her was after the first day of school, she came up to me after English class and said, please correct my grammar every time that I'm wrong. I need to learn the language better. And as educators, we do give our students grace, when they're learning the new language, and you don't want to overcorrect, but she said, please do not let me make mistakes. And so after class, we would speak, and she'd say, did I say that right? And it was great. And then, this is how I knew she was super special. She asked me for extra worksheets that she could take home so she could teach English to her mother. And so we always did that. Whatever lesson I taught that day, I made a copy for Ana to take home. So I knew she is special, for sure.
Ana, that's amazing. So obviously your English is great. How's it going with your mom? Are you still helping her?
Yes, I'm still helping her. I'm still helping my younger brother. So Ms. Davis was a great help, great teacher. I came to her. I remember the first day, as she said, I saw her in front of the classroom. I was like, I need to make connection with my high school teachers. Middle school was like, I was saying, it's going to be scary, it's going to be scary. Same thing when you get to senior year, like, college, it's going to be scary, it's going to be scary. And I'm like, just make the connection with your teacher. If your teacher is your friend, you're going to be fine. So I came up to her. I said, please correct my grammar. I said, English is my second language. Spanish is my first language. I know some English, but I know I need to get better at it. So the best way to get better at something is by practicing. So that's what I asked too. I said, I want extra practice worksheets. And I came to her during we had Bruin block. So during our extra time or during lunchtime, I'll go to her room and be like, okay, I need help with this assignment, or how do I do this? Can you please review it? For my speeches or stuff that I needed to for different classes. She was always there. That was one of the best things about um, having a teacher as a friend and having an AVID family. They're always there for you to support you.
That's great. So you're a recent high school graduate. So tell us a little bit about your AVID experience in AACPS.
Oh my gosh, AVID. It is one of the best decisions I ever made as a freshman. I did not join in middle school, but I did join it my second semester freshman year. I went up to my counselor. I heard about AVID, and a lot of my friends in my English class, they were talking about AVID, and I was like, what is AVID? So I asked Ms. Davis, she was my English teacher, and I was like, what is AVID? I said, I heard from a lot of my classmates, but I don't know what it is. She's like, so AVID is the program where we help you, give you extra time you can ask us questions, have work time with your classmate. We do lessons with each other. We help each other with the homework. It's time for exams. It's time for quizzes. We quiz ourselves. And I was like, this sounds like the class I need to fit my schedule. So it was a really easy process. I went to my counselor and I talked to my counselor. I said, I want to be part of the AVID class. And he said, sure, we'll adjust your schedule so you can fit AVID. And since freshman year, I've been in AVID throughout high school. It helped me like during the pandemic when we were virtual. AVID was great help because not only did I have time to work on my other classes, but I also have time with my friends to talk about my family issues or tell them what I was doing at home. We have some like spare time to share like our stories, something funny that we had or something that we tried new during the quarantine. So it was a great environment that made me feel like I was connected to someone, not just my family who I saw them 24/7.
Great.
Being able to talk to my teacher, like having a one-on-one conversation and knowing that someone was there for me was one of the biggest help during my during COVID. That was, it was a lot of depression, a lot of, you didn't go outside, you were in school, but you were at your house, so it didn't really feel like school, but AVID really made it feel a home. And I know when I had AVID class, I was like, I feel it was a safe environment, even though it was through a screen. My teacher was there, Ms. Davis was there, we met during a lunchtime. Sometimes we had lunch in front of the camera with each other. We're like, okay, what are you making for lunch? What's your lunch? And it was really fun, and I'm grateful for being an AVID alumni.
Oh, that's great. So you won a pretty prestigious scholarship last year, the Dell Scholarship. So tell us a little bit about that scholarship and what it will do for you.
So Dell Scholarship is a great scholarship. It's a $20,000 scholarship, not just the money, but they also give you a $500 gift card for spending on extra expenses. It can be books, it can even gas for your car if you need transportation to help pay your bills. It's anything, it's just for you. You don't have to tell them I spent $2 in this or I spent $2 in the other. Those are for you and to help your college expenses. But how did I get into the scholarship? It was because of AVID. AVID is one of the requirements to be able to apply to the scholarship. So because I was in AVID, I was for more than 2 years I was able to apply. My AVID teacher, Ms. Davis, was one of my recommenders in the scholarship, so that's also how I got it. It not only comes with here's the money, but there's also an entire team behind the name that is in contact with me. They send me. I'm in community college. I go to ACC, and because the scholarship is for towards a bachelor's degree, so they make sure you are on track to achieve the bachelor's degree. So there's an entire team behind that contacts you through messages, phone calls, emails, as how are you doing in your classes. Like I just finished my fall semester. So they were contact me, how was your fall semester? How are your classes? How do you feel? Do you feel stressed? Is there anything we can provide? They have psychologists. They have an entire team for me and my family who support us. If for some reason I need an extra time, or I need to take a pause when my college years for a family emergency or something, I just have to send in an email and then explain why, and they'll pass it. I will not lose the scholarship at all.
That's great. That's great. So last year when you were applying for colleges, where did you apply?
I applied to different schools in Maryland. I applied to Salisbury University of Maryland, Loyola University of Maryland, University of Maryland College Park, and I also applied to St. Mary's University, which I got all into.
Okay, great. And where do you, so you said you're at Anne Arundel. Where do you have an idea of where you're going to go after?
So due to family, I have to continue to help support my family, my mom, and my younger brother, who's not that young. He's a junior in high school, but I still help them and have a family obligation. So I decided to take my general classes at the ACC for the first year and a half or two. And then I've been talking to a college advisor, not only through the Dell Scholarship program, but also advisor from Loyola University of Maryland, which is the college I plan to transfer once I'm done with my general classes at Anne Arundel.
Great. And Anne Arundel is a very cost-effective way for students to knock out, like you said, some of those general ed courses that you can take before you get to your four-year school. So that's a really good idea.
Yes, and now Anne Arundel Community College has this great program where the dual enrollment, where high school students from the entire county can go for free to take college classes as long as they're enrolled in high school still. So take advantage of that.
For sure. So Ms. Davis, when the students are applying for college, how do they support each other in the AVID class?
Well, in senior year, the curriculum really is all college driven. So we spend most of the class talking about where we're applying, and others share what's happening. And I have a big gong in my classroom that every morning when we get in there, it's the first thing I say, who's got acceptances that we can share, and they get to hit the gong and we all celebrate. So it's our complete dialogue all through the class every single day in AVID. So we talk about, I've been accepted to a particular college and this is the money that I'm receiving, and then others will share, hey, I should probably apply to that school too. So AVID is so college driven, as we know, that this research, it's really the culmination of everything you've been doing each year in AVID, is talking about each particular school that's local, as far as, you know, not necessarily local, but out of state as well. So the kids are pretty well informed by senior year about the in-state tuition versus out-of-state tuition, and the different housing options that are there for you. And we all know now, after the pandemic, there's been even more ways the residential life has changed, and the options are there for kids. So all of that research is done now. So senior year is about discussing it, you know, as a class, and talking out about where are we with everything. So it's been really fun for me. This is my first year teaching AVID 12, so it's been a great experience.
Great. So it is really exciting to help the students find their best fit, and to look at the different offers that you have, and is there an option that makes more sense for your family, or for your financial situation, or for just your comfort level at the time. You know, some students who thought in 9th or 10th grade that they would go away right away now are thinking, maybe I do want to spend one more year at home and start at the community college, but it's a good place to have that sounding board and to talk to other students and say, you know, what are you thinking, and why are you making the decisions that you're making, so that the students can support each other.
Absolutely. I'm finding that, again, literally every day, these conversations of, wow, I never thought about going that far. But, oh, you got in and you got $40,000 scholarship, I need to apply. And what were your SATs again? And so in junior year, we talk about building our own resume and what colleges will I be accepted into right now if nothing changes. So again, they sort of know where they stand, but it's great to hear the dialogue of this happened and that happened, and exactly what you just said, Dot. I'm finding a lot of kids, again, due to the pandemic, are feeling that they're not ready. And I encourage them to think about it and to be really honest and self-aware and say, okay, then let's not think about schools that are that far away. And let's think about AACC. It is a great option. So exactly what you said, they're finding themselves thinking, I'm not sure I'm ready. And I think that's okay.
Yep. So tell us a little bit about your experience at AACC as a full-time student this semester.
It was a great experience. I was able to have a combination of in-person classes with online synchronous class, which means I met with my professor twice a week over Zoom meeting from the comfort of my house, but I also had my other 3 classes, which I met in person twice a week. They're not scary. I remember when I walk into the class, they're like, don't be scared. Just same thing as I had in high school, build the relationship with the professors. So I built relationships with them by saying, introducing myself and being participant in the class, raising my hand to answer questions, not being scared to talk to the professor. That was one of the big things took away that I took from AVID. It was like, raise your hand, introduce yourself to the professor. Let them know that you're there. Let them know that you're interested in the class. So that was one of the things Ms. Davis would tell our class. It's like, you need to raise your hand. You need to introduce yourself to others. They need to know you. And the best way for them to know you is by you going to them and saying, hey, my name is Anna, and this is my first year, my second year. I'm really achieving to my general classes, planning and major. I plan on major in earlier primary child education.
Oh, I was hoping you were going to say that. That's excellent.
And with a minor in business management. So I introduced myself to my professors, and a lot of them say, okay, this is a really good class. After you take this class, I really recommend you to take this class. So it's also a great way for them. They're teaching me and, showing me the right path. They say, I took this class when, or I know another student who took this class and was planning a majoring in your major as well. So they are there also to help you.
That's great. I was going to say, making sure your professors can put a face to a name is so important. So going up to the professor and saying, hey, I'm Anna, just lets them know, like, oh, this student is pretty serious about what's going on here. Mm-hmm. But also, you're right, it also gives them the opportunity to get to know you and guide you a little bit differently than the person that just shows up and sits in the back of the class, who may also achieve very well in the class, but they miss out on that personal connection and counseling, and that's great. That's a great recommendation. So what are some of the fun things to do on your campus? Have you done anything fun on campus?
Yeah, well, my first week, introducing myself to others, making new friends, making new connections. Even though we live in the same community, we all live in the same county. It's like I met one of my classmates from my business class who came from Spain. I was like, wow, how did you get here? So it's always fun to know that in a community college, even though we see it as a small community college, it is a big community college, and it has a variety of community members, and you never know who been where or who's from where. So that building that relationship with my classmate is great. So I remember going around and kind of introducing myself. One of my psychology classmates, we went around, we're like, have you guys toured the entire campus yet? So during the summertime, it was nice out. We were able to, be outside. So I remember one day we just went around the campus. Obviously, with respect and, you know, respecting those who were in classes. Kind of knowing where like other classes were and what the different buildings had. So like we went to the health and science business. That was one of my fun things that I did my first week of college. I've been involved in the psychology club. We met twice, every other Tuesday, so that's one of my fun activities as I would to join, because I introduced myself to my psychology professor, and she said, "Oh, I have a psychology club. Do you want to be part of it?"
Great.
So that's how I found out about one of those clubs.
That's great. So again, that getting to know your professor helped you find something else to do. And I'm glad that you pointed out that at a community college, they do have clubs and activities and sports. They have everything that a four-year school has as well. So it is good to like look for those opportunities and seek out those opportunities so that you can make connections and have more of a college life, even though you're not living on campus. So you said that you use getting to know your professors, that you learned and it was reinforced in AVID. Is there anything else that you learned in AVID that you still very much use in college?
Yes. A lot of the note-taking guides that we learned in AVID, and that came very helpful when, you know, they give me a 20-page reading, and I was like, how do I take notes of this? And then I took, you know, the taking notes from AVID, and I have some of my papers from senior and junior year, so I went back and I'm like, okay, this is how like I remember taking notes for AVID, you know, looking for the key terms. So I always went back and mirrored those notes from high school and then put it into the college level class. Big key thing that I remember Ms. Davis telling our class was read the syllabus. That was the first thing we got in my first class in preview, like a week before my first class. I received emails from all my professors. They introduced themselves via email, and they also gave us the syllabus. I read it, and then by the first day of class, I had my syllabus printout, and I already know where were all my due dates by. What was the goal? What was the professor's goal with our class? What was the objective for the class? What we'll have learned at the end of the semester. So that was a really great thing I took from AVID, is reading the syllabus. A lot of my classmates were like, "How do you know this deadline?" I was like, "It is on our syllabus." Like, okay. So by the second month, we all need to go back to the syllabus and check our calendar in the syllabus, because professors do stick to the syllabus dates. Now a lot of them, some of them do remind you about them, but some of them just, you know, you're college level, you're an adult. So it depends on the level of the class as well. But I know one of my professors, she was like, "You guys know that this is the deadline for next week. You have to read 5 chapters of this book. And if you weren't aware of the deadline, you were up until midnight,
right,
trying to crunch everything in one day."
Are you calendaring your deadlines?
Yes, I have my agenda, and then I usually put my own deadlines prior 1 or 2 days in case something happens. I have a little bit of cushion time.
That's good
to fit
planning.
all my assignments in time.
So what are your future goals after college?
Well, as you know, my plan is on majoring on early child education or elementary education. So my plan is to become a teacher, probably in the county.
For sure, in the county, for sure. And was this the same goal that you had in high school?
I started with business management in high school, but in high school with the AVID, and we have our team building activities where we help each other, and I was part of the ESOL community and helping other students. I learn, and I find that I enjoy teaching others and helping others, which I was there. I was like, you know, if I did it for high school, why wouldn't I do it for my future life? Why wouldn't I go that path if I know that's what I like and that's what I enjoy? So that's kind of what got me into going to the education major.
That's excellent. And Miss Davis, what do you know about Anna that will make her likely to achieve these goals?
Oh, she's going to do anything she wants to do. I'm glad that Anna brought that up with the ESOL students because I was going to get to that. I was not going to let that slide. That I had some ESOL students last year that were just simply not going to graduate in English 12 because they couldn't get their capstone project together. And of course, my first call was, Anna, I'm going to need your help. And she helped them get the capstone project completed, and they did a great job. And this was all on her spare time. So everybody always calls on Anna to help. She became probably the most repeated name in the halls of Broadneck, and I was trying to keep her for myself to help me, but she's always helping other students, and that's, to me, like, it is definitely a natural role for her, and she'll be an excellent teacher.
Well, the future looks very bright for you, and we're excited to watch your journey unfold as you move from community college into University of Maryland, and then we'll be looking for your resume to come through AACPS so that we can get you working. So thank you both for joining us today and sharing your stories. I hope that Anna will have some opportunity to help the Broadneck students again this year as they prepare for graduation. And thank you for tuning in today on AVID Achievers.